One take, baby. We're back. I don't know who I'm calling baby. I just started. It's not like a romantic baby. It's more like like a teammate baby. Like, let's go, baby. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. Listen, one take. These are my favorite type of episodes because I think we're here. Well, I don't think I know. This week we're talking about gotcha racism, and I'm sure you're all very familiar with it. There's something new that happens once every other week where somebody's getting in trouble, some kind of celebrity or public figure or somebody is like everyone is literally on the internet, on Twitter, hiding in the collective bushes, just waiting for somebody to say something maybe racist or waiting for someone to be successful so they can go back in their Twitter 15 years. Is Twitter even around 15 years ago? I don't know. They go back 10 years into their Twitter, find something racist, and take them down. I don't know why I had a southern accent when I said that. That's just how I did it. But anyway, this week, this is going to be hard to believe, but not really in the era that we live in. It's one take. I can't go back. Too bad. I made a mistake, but we got to go forward. Let me just show you. I don't know. I'm going to show you. So, all right, there was a Rockies. There was the Rockies baseball game, and what happened? A fan was trying to yell for the mascot, whose name is Dinger. Okay, Dinger, it sounds. I guess if you're 3 beers in, it's the bottom of the 8th inning, might sound like a derogatory racist term towards the African American community. Anyway, the Twitter, it was on the national telecast, and Twitter went nuts. This guy is yelling the N-word. Let's cancel him. Let's get him removed from and turns out he wasn't saying that at all. He was saying Dinger. Dinger. And listen, you could have confused me for the same thing. I used to live in Colorado. I went to Rockies games all the time, and I tried to get a photo with that mascot one time, and he said no. And I was like, Dinger, please. Okay, John, come on. I thought of that joke in my head. I was like, that's funny. It's stupid. Too bad I can't start it over. Anyway, it's this era of like that we live in the world that everyone is acting like a teenager's mom who sets the curfew at 11 p.m. You know that mom that's like waiting up and literally hoping that their son or child comes home after 11 so they can crush them. You're like, oh, I hope they don't come in at 10:45. I hope they pass the curfew so I can kill them. That's everyone is literally hiding in the bushes waiting to crush people. I mean, at the start of the Olympics, the head of the IOC, he said he confused Chinese people with Japanese people. And everybody's like, let's get him. Hey, listen, newsflash. That's not racist. Making an let's say, ignorant, maybe. A little dumb, also not racist. It's something, remember John Cena when he was promoting Fast and the Furious, which, by the way, hey, everyone in the Fast and Furious franchise, you don't have to promote. We're going to go see it. Literally, just tell me Fast and the Furious, literally anything. I'll go see it. Fast and the Furious returns car parts to AutoZone. I'll go see it. Fast and the Furious needs to get his floor mats repolished at the car wash. I'll go see it. You don't need to promote your movies. We'll be there. Anyway, John Cena was promoting the last Fast and the Furious, and he accidentally, I don't know what it was. I'll put the article over here. He said Taiwan was China or I don't know what he said, but everybody's like, let's get John Cena. And like everybody's coming out of the bushes John Cena is not racist. The leader of the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, that's every country. Not racist. These are people that made mistakes. Sure, these are people that maybe, but these people are not racist. Listen, if we want to cancel John Cena, let's do it for his fashion sense. Okay. I've been known to wear something similar probably from time to time, so I shouldn't say that. Listen, Jimmy Fallon, not racist. They went back like 10 years in his to find out a video. You see something new like this every week. Jimmy Fallon, not racist. I hate to say this. I don't hate to say this. I'd be proud to say this. Morgan Wallen, not racist. You can't, just this era of everybody. I don't know why I'm yelling. John, bring it down a couple notches. It's just, what are we doing? I just want to let you know, just look at me in the eye. I want to say you people because that sounds, the people, when somebody does something successful, remember when Melissa Villaseñor, I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I'm probably going to get canceled for that. Remember when she got Saturday Night Live and all these little people with no jobs that are like at their houses on stimulus checks, like waiting for the government to bail them out, had nothing to. Why, John? Really? Why? Had nothing to do, and they saw her getting promoted and being successful. Like, let's go back and get. They went. They went back in her Twitter 5 years to find something that might be misconstrued as racist, and they got her fired. Shane Gillis, same thing. You see it over and over and over again. But listen, people that do that, look at me. You're not helping the cause. I'm a comedian. I say that as sincerely as I possibly can. First of all, I follow somebody. There was a woman that I'm interested in that I like, and I followed her on Instagram. I went back in her Instagram maybe about 6 photos. I go, all right, yeah, I've seen enough. I think I got it. I'll take it from here. Can you imagine how much of a zero contributor you have to be to planet Earth to go back over a year in someone's Twitter? You should just be. I guess you can't cancel that person because they have nothing to cancel because they don't bring anything of value to the internet. Wow, John, that seems very emotionally charged. It is. Anyway, and this goes on both sides. You're like, oh, you're just defending Morgan Wallen because you love country music and you love. No, listen, Megan Rapinoe, who I would probably politically line up with pretty close to zero. She's not racist. Y'all tried to cancel her too. You just try those. You know what? Some people just want the world to burn. All right, and that's embarrassing for them. Listen. Let's just work. Instead of just getting on here and crush everybody, let's come up with some solutions that actually help racism. First of all, here's what doesn't help racism: saying "gotcha" to every single person, every single hey, it's racist. There's nothing funny. When's the last time you saw a funny sketch on Saturday Night Live? Don't worry, I'll wait. 1994. Yeah, that's because everyone's scared to make a racist joke. Everyone's literally scared to get canceled. This is not racism. I've said this before. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Bill Burr, these people have done more to solve racism than Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson literally ever would. Calling out racism. I don't know how to make this clear to everybody. Racism is saying your race is better than another race, or this race is preferable to this race based on skin color. That's what racism is. So if you say, oh, look, somebody's driving. I shouldn't do this joke. If you said, for example, let me think. Oh, look, somebody's driving a Chrysler 300, and then they park. Oh, of course a black guy got out of it. Yep, that makes sense. Is that racist? No. Why is that not racist? Because black guys like to drive Chrysler 300s. And I only know that because for the sake of this show, I Googled what kind of cars do black guys like to drive. And sure enough, Chrysler 300. So listen, absolved from racism. Thank you. No, it's also not racist. It's like, hey, look over there at that group of Asian people. Not racist. If over there is a group of Asian people, that's not racist. You're not saying some race is better or worse or better. You're not saying anything. You're just acknowledging a different skin color. Not racist. If somebody said, hey, where could I find the best hummus recipe? I go, I don't know. Probably ask a white suburban mom. Is that racist? No, because white women or white people love hummus. I think that's true. That might be I'm pretty sure that's true. If that's not true, comment. If you're not white and you love hummus, comment below. I doubt you'll. That's a terrible idea. I doubt you'll see any. Listen, there's been Black Lives Matter. The movement as say what you want to say about it. I mean, the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement have been invaluable. I trust these people inherently. They would never do anything for the sake of the movement for personal gain. I don't think they wouldn't. I'm just saying, okay, that's a bad example, but okay, that's another bad example. I'm just saying there's a lot of solutions to this movement that have not been helpful at all right? But white people like to position themselves or maybe do performatory things to act like they're not racist. Like, for example, putting a Black Lives Matter sign in your yard while that might be the Holy Spirit. I'm just kidding. Putting a Black Lives Matter sign in your yard while simultaneously having 0 black friends. Performatory, not helping the cause. Putting a black screen on your Instagram while also scrolling your Instagram up and down for years and seeing no black person on your Instagram is not helping at all. You know who the worst... You know, the only thing worse than the people going back on people's Twitters like 10 years to try to find racist stuff, you know, the only person worse than that is the person that was criticizing people. Remember whenever everybody was putting that black, I got a text, so popular. Remember, it was like a year ago when everyone was putting that black screen on their Instagram and then putting the hashtag Black Lives Matter. People were doing their part to try to bring some help to the situation. There was people shaming those people to saying they're using the hashtag wrong. Or I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that was just, it's the same person going back in someone's Twitter is doing that exact thing. What you're not, I just want to let y'all know that you think you're doing something of merit when actually you're actually helping literally nothing. The only thing helping less is the people on TikTok that remember that, like, I'm about to tell you how to bag an 8-figure, and then they would put a finger over their mouth when it was time to say the N-word. Thanks, guys. What would we have done without your bravery and courage? Thanks for standing up for racism. What would we have done without you? Look, they're not racist. They put a finger over their mouth. Thanks, guys. Why don't we get them a NAACP? I was gonna say a Purple Heart, but that's for something else. Why don't we get them an NAACP award? Great, Addison. What's the name of that girl? I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter. All these things are just very. And listen, let's get some kind of solution. If we're gonna just like John, we know these things are not solutions. I'll tell you one thing that is. Mike Goodwin, who is a friend of mine, who's a black guy who's been touring with me for probably the last 8 years, and we were at the height of all this. We had a bunch of conversations with each other, and I was like, I personally, if you know me or have followed me in any kind of way, I still do these videos about canceling things. I would go through Target or go through the grocery store about cancel Aunt Jemima, cancel Quaker Oats. I was just making a joke, and I would personally come from the perspective of like, oh, everybody's like, we need to change the Band-Aid color because they need to be all different races, or there need to be black or Indian Barbie dolls. And I remember Mike having an honest conversation with him. He goes, John, that sounds maybe silly or performatory, but my children, when they put on a Band-Aid that is not their skin color, they feel that they are other than, that they are less than, that they are excluded. Every time I put a Band-Aid on, I don't know why I'm putting a Band-Aid on my, you know what I did? When I got the vaccine. For yellow fever, okay, no, I don't know why. John, that's not important. Don't get back on the subject. I don't know why I'm looking to somebody over there. There's no one over there. I'm filming by myself. Anyway, what I'm saying is Mike Goodwin was like, hey, dude, it's actually that means a lot to us that we're not looked at as other than when there's all white Barbie dolls in the 80s and 90s and they're like, hey, let's get some Barbie dolls of color. He's like, that to me, that sounds silly, but he goes, that's actually very valuable. That's actually very important. And that's an honest conversation with someone of another race changed my mind. It changed my thought process and my outlook on the whole. And that's what everyone's not doing, having honest conversations. Not one time did anyone ask John Cena or Morgan Wallen or Jimmy Fallon or Megan Rapinoe, hey, they're just like, oh, let's get them, let's cancel them. And that, I just want to let you guys know, as honestly I can say this, I'm a comedian, I make jokes for a living. As honestly as I can contribute to this, you're not helping. The gotcha racism, the going back into, and listen, I have jokes on my 2015 comedy special that I wouldn't say now. That are, I think, I wouldn't say they're racist, but they're probably inappropriate in some way. I made them in 2015. I wouldn't make them now. Is that not the definition of progress, which is apparently what the left, John, don't make this political, all about progress. And that, if nothing else, that is progress. I want to wrap this up by reading a quote. I'm just like, it's going to say that sounds like I sound like a pastor or something like that. But I want to read this quote. Listen to this. I'll put this up here, but it's going to be probably too small, so I'm just going to read it. It's from Mark Manson. Listen. This is one of the truest things I've ever read. Repost, don't repost. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Listen. People get addicted to feeling offended all of the time because it gives them a high. Being self-righteous and morally superior feels good. Can relate. I think everybody can agree on that. As political cartoonist Tim Krieger put it in the New York Times op-ed, outrage is like a lot of other things that feel good, but over time devour us from the inside out. And it's even more insidious than most vices because we don't even consciously acknowledge that it's a pleasure. Can I drop this? I'm going to try. No, I can't drop it. If I could drop this mic, I would pick it up and re-drop it, but I think it cost me a lot of money and I don't want to buy a new one. Anyway, one take. That's it.